this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. Well, we're on the path, not the road. So how's the air quality today? Well, I checked the reports. It says 64. I think they said that the perfect air quality would be 0. I don't think we've ever had perfect air quality, but 64. Yeah, well, let's clean off that mirror a little bit there. A little dusty, yeah. It wasn't that long since I took this bike out. How'd it get dusty? So what are we on today? Well, this is the HiPeak Elias. Yeah, this is the folding bike. I have an update for you. I did put it in the description of the HiPeak Elias review. Yeah, this bike does do 25 miles per hour. I think I mentioned it does 20. At that time, I didn't realize that you could make a modification in the menu of the bike. Now, it says 25 miles an hour. I've never gotten it to 25 miles an hour. Got it to 24, but that's close enough. The point is that it goes higher than 20. Since this is not the official HiPeak review, I will mention the other bike, which I think a number of you have already guessed, that this bike looks very similar to. That would be the Magicycle Jaguarundi. Yeah, if you look at the two bikes next to each other, yeah, they're near identical as far as the look is concerned. I don't know if they manufactured the same or copied each other or whatever, but there's many bikes that look like this bike. It's not totally unique in that sense. You know, Jaguarundi was never totally unique in that sense either, because there's other bikes that look like it, right? So, of course, people would be asking, is there a difference between the two bikes? I'm going to stay away from the mud over there. Yeah, this area here always seems to have a lot of bugs, so I'm gonna stay quiet for a second just so I don't eat any bugs here. That was a leaf that was falling. That was not a bug going across our camera there. All right, sit tight. All right, I think we're past the bug area. I don't know about you, but when it's totally dead quiet, nobody talking during a video, kind of boring. I don't know if some people like it. So anyway, let's talk about the bike again. So people have asked, you know, what's the difference? Is there a noticeable difference between the two bikes? Yeah, there's a difference. There is a difference. I think the first thing that I noticed between the two bikes is, let's hit the bell here. Thank you. I think the first thing that I noticed is the torque difference. The Jaguarundi is more torquey. Is that a word? More torquey. Torqueier. Yeah, you have some ability to climb hills better with the Jaguarundi. There's no doubt. It's a little more powerful bike. You know, the speeds are very similar now. Now that I've increased this thing to the 25 mile per hour setting on the display screen, the speeds are pretty much equivalent at this point. The Jaguarundi never hits 25 either. I think it hits like 23, maybe 24 if you're lucky, you know. So yeah, the speeds seem to be very similar. They're not the identical display screen, but you know it's still, you know, the smaller type display screens that are on the side here. Same basic thing as far as I'm concerned. It may look a little different, but essentially functions essentially the same. Well, relatively the same. And the next thing I noticed is the Jaguarundi has the hydraulic brakes. That's pretty obvious. This takes more effort to stop. These are unbranded brakes here. The Jaguarundi uses, it is a branded brake. My bad memory doesn't allow me to recall the name right now. Well, I'll put a graphic if I remember to even do that. So, yeah, the brakes are better on the Jaguarundi. The Jaguarundi is more expensive. Based on the sale price of this bike right now and the sale prices that are going on the Magicycle Jaguarundi, I think the Jaguarundi, if you add in the rear rack, because that is a option, the rear rack and tail light option is like $300 more. $100 more, sorry. What am I saying? $100 more. It's $100 more. So when you add the $100 more to it, and then you add the price, add that to the overall cost, and then you look at the price of the HiPeak, it's about a $300 difference between the two bikes. I mean, you have to add the rear rack option and the tail light to the Jaguarundi to make the two bikes equivalent, right? I mean, if you could buy the Jaguarundi without the rear rack, then it would be only like $200 more, right? But we'll make it apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So yeah, I kind of feel you kind of need a rear rack on all your bikes. I mean, how can you carry anything if you don't have something to strap it onto, right? If you don't have a front basket or you don't have a rear rack, you know, how do you carry anything? You could, you know, could use a backpack, but I really wouldn't want to do that. I'm hot enough as it is. I don't want something else on my back making me even hotter. So yeah, try carrying a second battery on a backpack. that would be bad. So yeah, and they did give me a second battery here. I got the one that has the 2 battery option. So there is an option for you to buy a second battery at a lower price than if you were just to buy a second battery later. So if you plan to go some distance, then yeah, you might want to spend that extra money and get that second battery. I don't know what it is. What is it, like another $300? I don't know, something like that. That's actually a decent price. Batteries are not inexpensive. They cost some money. So if you have a feeling you will go more than X amount of miles. We haven't even done a range test on this bike. We'll talk about that in a second too. If you think you're going to go some distance with your bike, then yeah, get a second battery. I mean, when my wife and I went to Wisconsin, Door County, yeah, I was using a second battery. By the time, now she's always on one battery. She's always pedaling, as we all know, and that she doesn't weigh anything compared to me. So yeah, get a second battery if you need it. That's the time to do it, because if they offer it as a package deal, take advantage of the package deals, because they'll save you some money. All right, now the Jaguarundi, I don't know what the range was on it again. 30 miles, something like that. 31. I don't know. It was pretty high for a bike with a bike that had I don't know what's the amp hours on that thing. I don't remember either, but it was pretty high. So if I remember, I'll put a graphic up. Chances are I won't. I won't remember. All right, we're at the hill test at this point. Let's do a throttle and pedal. Let's see what we do for speed here. So I'm going to pedal a little bit and throttle at the same time. So I'm watching the thing here. As long as we pedal, we can get over hills pretty quickly. you know, we don't drop too much. So I'm at 13, 10, 10.6, 10.6. Yeah, we're at 10.6. I think that's better than what this bike did when it was throttle only. Can't remember what that number is either. Oh man. You know, the thing is, I didn't take this bike out to morning. I didn't take this bike out to do like a review or anything like that. And I just decided to take it out for a ride. No, if you pedal and you throttle at the same time going over hills, most bikes do fairly well. You know, even bikes that don't have a really good hill climbing test just on the throttle, you pedal a little bit, you'll help it. Yeah, don't worry too much about these things. I mean, if the thing absolutely can't climb the hill, then that's another story. But even our heaviest bikes can get over the hill with a little bit of pedaling. I mean, my heaviest bike right now is like 120 pounds. And that's the Electric Bike Company bike. Yeah, that thing had a hard time getting over the hill. I didn't even show the hill climbing test because it wasn't going to do it very well. All right, we're back here on the uneven pavement section here. So they're doing some construction stuff or something on that thing. So how is the air quality affecting me today? Well, I'm not wearing a mask. The air quality shows that it was good to moderate, something like that. So I figured, okay, I'm just gonna head out. And you know, if the rest of the summer is like this, I think we'll be okay. But they said, you know, be prepared that during the summer months we may end up with some bad air quality days because of the Canadian wildfires. But today is pretty good. Yeah, it's not too bad. This is what day am I on here? July 3rd. So that is a Monday. You guys will probably see this on Tuesday, I would imagine, on 4th of July. Yeah, be careful on the 4th of July. I know a lot of people set off fireworks and the like. I know I did when I was a little kid. I have not set off a firecracker since I was a kid. Yeah, I haven't touched them. But yeah, be careful with it if you do it. Whether it's legal or illegal to do, I know people do it. I mean, even in our area, you hear firecrackers and fireworks going off all the time during this time of the year. So, yeah, just be careful. You'll be okay. All right. I found that the best thing for this intersection is just to go across here, even though I could have turned right and just went that way, but no, there's a lot of right turning people and everything. I don't want to deal with that. So we'll go straight ahead when it's time to do it, which is not too far away from now. So I had been debating which bike I would take out. I'd been debating, you know, should I take the bigger bikes? Should I take one of the newer bikes? What should I do? And I opted to take one of the newer bikes, and of course this is the folding bike. You don't have to always take the biggest and best bikes you have. You take other bikes, right? Because they're very capable. Folding bikes do a good job. You know, when I first started getting these folding bikes, let me hit the button here. It's always a little tight squeeze on this bike. It's a tight squeeze when I hop off. Same thing with the Jaguarundi. My GoPro always hits the cell phone mount. I guess if I didn't have the cell phone mount, it wouldn't be so bad. But you know, I'm a little bit bigger, and when you hop off, it's kind of narrow in there. So I always move the cell phone mount as soon as I get off the bike. Yeah, it's a little tight. Now, if you're thinner, it'd probably be easier. But where I'm not that, you know. So this bike, whoops, oh man, I got to duck again. They really got to cut that. This bike does pretty good. You know, when I first got these folding bikes, I kept thinking, you know, folding bike, how good could it be? Yeah, I appreciate the folding bike a lot more now. It's kind of easier to get around with it. You know, if you want to put it in your car and go someplace, you could do it. Yeah, I can't do it in my car, but I could do it in my wife's car. You know, she has a SUV. I could stick it in there and go. Don't have to put it on the rear rack on the car rack. That's kind of a hassle sometimes, but I will say that once the rack is on there, putting the bike on and taking it off the rack is a lot easier. Yeah, you don't have to fold up anything, you don't have to do anything to anything, just lift it up and put it there. But then you got to put the rack on. That's the issue, right? The rack is pretty heavy. You got to lift it up, put it on the hitch. So I mean, some people leave those racks on their hitch all the time, but we don't do that. She drives it to work, so I take it off. Every time I use it, I take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. Kind of a hassle. Yeah, nothing's ever easy. So yeah, the brakes are different, the torque is different. The speed seems to be about the same now because I unlocked this thing to do the supposed 25 miles an hour. Yeah, maybe you can get 25 miles an hour. If you were lighter than me, you probably could do it. So I'm out early in the morning. What time is it right now? 8:02. Oh, let me make a comment too. You know, I took another bike out last week. It's one of the new review bikes, but I told you guys I wasn't going to confirm or deny anything about that review bike, and of course everyone took their best guess. That was fun to watch. Yeah, I felt kind of funny because I didn't answer anybody. You know, once you made a comment about the bike, I didn't say a word about it because that's what I said. I would not comment on it. So everyone took their best guess. Some people guessed Aventon. Some people guessed other bikes. Yeah, none of you got it right. Yeah, and the reason is because it's a new model. It hasn't been released yet. It won't be released until August, I believe, something like that. So, yeah, nobody got it right. Now, how could you get it right? You don't know what the model is because it hasn't been released yet. Now you may be asking, were some of us close? Yeah, I don't confirm or deny anything. I will say though, it's an interesting bike. It's an interesting bike. They've made improvements to bikes in general. I'm not saying for that model, I'm just saying bikes in general have been improved in the last year or so. We've seen improvements in companies adding hydraulic brakes versus mechanical disc brakes. We've seen, well, you can call it an improvement if you want. Some people don't. From cadence sensors to torque sensors. Yeah, so we do see some improvements. And prices haven't gone up that much, if at all, with these new improvements. Morning. So, all right, how are we doing here? I think we're good. Yeah, hey, well, that was one of the fastest times getting over to that intersection. There was no cars. Pretty good. So yeah, things have improved, I think, in general for e-bikes. Yeah, I think you're getting more for your money now. That's competition, right? It's got to be competition, where companies see what other companies are doing and they got to one up the next guy. They can't raise the price too much, otherwise they're not going to be sold. So yeah, that's competition pushing it. That's good. We all benefit a little bit from that. I don't know if that benefits the companies. It probably does, because they probably sell more. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, so the new bike rides very well. It's got some nice features on it. I think you guys would like it. I'm liking it now as I'm riding it. I wish I could show you more of it, but I've got to wait about a month before I can do that. I can't even do the review yet because certain things haven't been finalized yet. You know, things like pricing and things like that. I've asked them, you know, what's the price of this bike, and they haven't finalized the pricing yet even. I'm actually very surprised that they sent it to me so early on. But they had them all done. They just haven't, you know, finished, you know, certain marketing decisions, I guess, you know, pricing and things. But they did a good job on that bike. I think you would like it. Yeah, I'm impressed with it. I didn't think I would, but I am. Okay, so what else is coming in? Well, I was contacted by yet another company, which is not new. It's not a new company or anything like that. They contacted me quite a while ago. I told them I couldn't take any additional bikes on until at least August, because I had all these other bikes that I had to deal with. So I just said, if you want me to do one, if you're still interested in it, and you don't have a problem with me doing it sometime in August, I would take it on. So yeah, so they said yes, they're gonna send me one. It's not a new bike. You've seen reviews of this bike before from other reviewers, but I said, yeah, I'll give it a try. Yeah, it looked like a nice bike, so I said, yeah, let's see what it has to offer from that brand. It's a new brand for me. It's not a new brand. So it's a new brand for me. So I said, yeah, I'll try it. Morning. So that will be coming in. They said that they will try their best to get it out to me this month for potential review in August. So yeah, I'm actually glad to get some of the bikes a little earlier than like something where the deadline is so tight where they give it to you and you immediately have to do something with it. That's kind of tough sometimes for me. Oh, and I mentioned on one of the last videos or so, I said that we were at like 66 bikes that I have turned down. It's now up to 69 bikes that I've turned down. But that doesn't mean that in the future, if they contacted me again, that I would turn them all down. I might take one or two of those bikes if they contacted me again, but at that time, it just was bad timing to do it, or I didn't have trust in the batteries, or something about the bike didn't make sense for me. I don't know. But that doesn't mean if a company were to contact me again about a new model that they have and it looks good, I might actually say yes, right? So I can't take everything, and some of you guys have mentioned things like, well, just do the review and then just give away the bike. Well, that's a lot of effort. I know some people do that, but that's a lot of effort for me. If I took on the bike and giving it away, I have to meet up with you. You'd have to come from Chicago area. You'd have to pick it up. I can't ship it. It's a lot of hassles. So, and I would feel bad if something was not good about that bike, and then you took it and something happened to you because you took that bike from me. I would feel bad. Yeah, I wouldn't be obligated. Once you buy it, it's yours. I take no responsibility once you take possession of it. But yeah, I would still feel bad if somebody got hurt or something on a bike that I didn't think was really great. So I don't accept those bikes. But 69 bikes, multiply that out, even if each of these bikes were only $1,000, which we know many bikes are way over $1,000 each, that's at least $69,000. So wow, this thing's really hanging over here. Got to be careful of that one. Yeah, definitely a lot more people out today. And so, yeah, it's a lot of money that you give up. I know that some of you have mentioned you're just throwing away money. Well, I don't know. I'd rather keep my integrity than take things that I didn't feel too good about. Plus, I know it costs companies money. I don't want to waste their money. I'll give you an example here. I told you that the HiPeak, when I first got it, you know, it was having problems with the throttle and the pedal assist. You know, it would kick in and kick out for the first couple miles, and I was like, what's going on with this bike? You know, my first thought wasn't really that. My first thought was, if this bike goes down, how am I going to get home? That was my first thought. I didn't want to push this thing all the way home. And so so I jiggled the cables around and stuff, and then it seems to work. I've never had a problem since. I think it was loose cables. Thank you. I think it was loose cables, probably during shipping, and everything got fixed up. So anyways, I told HiPeak about it. I said, you know, this thing was kind of kicking in and out, and they immediately offered to send me another bike. They says, pack up the bike, send it back to us, we'll send you back another brand new bike. And I don't know if they would do that for everybody, quite frankly. I think it's because, you know, you're reviewing the bike. They don't want you to have a bad review bike. But the fact that they even offered to do it made me feel good. But I told them, I said, you know, don't do that. I says, I finally got it to work, and I think it was just probably loose cables. I don't want them spending money. I told them, I said, that's cost the company a lot of money to ship it to me, and then they'd have to pay for the shipping to get it back to them and everything. I said, that's just too much. It's just not worth it. So yeah, I try my best to save the company's money as much as I can. I mean, there's no sense in them just blowing money off like that. I just appreciate the fact that the companies give me product. I am still amazed to this day that this channel has taken off, and that coming from a knee replacement situation, taking my channel from talking about knee replacements for 2 years, I was talking about my knee. And then now it's turned into an e-bike channel, simply because I bought an e-bike to fix my knee, to help me rehab my knee. And then look where it's gone at this point. So who would have thought that would have happened? So I'm just amazed that it's gone that far. And by the way, let me mention this too, and as my son-in-law brought that attention to me, my senior video, I call it my senior video because many of you guys came from that video. After watching it, you subscribed and then like and just continue to watch Russ is Right. It has passed the 1 million view mark. Who would have thought any of my videos would have passed anywhere close to that amount, right? Let's slow down a little here, make sure everyone's going in the right place here. So yeah, thank you for watching that video and bringing it to 1 million mark. Now, you could say, wow, that's a viral video. I mean, they say you need at least 1 million to even consider calling it a viral video, but it took 2 years to get there. I mean, in viral videos, typically, you know, I don't know, like a week it'll get to 1 million, something like that, right? You know, 2 years. But hey, the fact that it even got to 1 million is amazing to me. I don't care how long it took. Yeah, that's amazing. You know, I wish all my videos had that. We know it can't, but you know, certain topics resonate with people, and then as you watch them, and if you hit the like button, or even if you hit the dislike button, it helps push the video to somebody else so that they can watch it. So what happens is YouTube will recommend your video to other people, because they'll say, oh, more people seem to like this video, let's put it as a recommendation to other people, see if they like it. So yeah, hit the like button on all my videos if you want to help me out. Subscribe too, of course, that helps too, but definitely, you know, if you hit the like button, that pushes the video, and apparently a lot of people liked that video and pushed it out, and so the next thing you know, after a couple years, that thing went to 1 million views. To this day, I still get people watching it and commenting on that video. So, you know, the biggest comment has always been, you're blowing through these stop signs. Yeah, we've talked about that many times. So, and it was on this path that we did it. Yeah, okay, well, I went through it, but I explained why I went through those stop signs, and people do, I mean, we just passed the lady. When I said we slowed down a second ago, that was one of the stop signs. You might notice that I had no stop sign, but she had the stop sign, she went through it. Why? Because that stop sign makes no sense. Yeah, nobody goes past that intersection because it's all gated off. They really need to take that stop sign down, or if they really wanted to make it accurate, they should put a stop sign on my direction. But they don't have one there, so it doesn't make any sense. And the other one is right by the parking lot area. Now that one does make sense, because you should stop if cars are trying to cross through from the parking lot. But a lot of us still go through it. Almost everybody who's on this bike path do it. They go through it because there's not a whole lot of cars that are going in and out of that parking lot. I mean, yeah, I mean, if somebody comes, they're gonna have to park. Yeah, they're gonna go through there, but it's so rare in comparison to how many times we go around that most of us just go right past through it. So there you have it. That's my explanation why I passed through some of those stop signs. Today on the streets, you know that I try my best to do at least a rolling stop, or at least a slowdown before I go past. And like I mentioned before, that one of the police officers told me that he would be okay with the way that I do it, because he looks at intent. If you had the intent to stay safe, he wouldn't hold it against me, he said. He would just let me through. Yeah, you got to kind of look at, you know, how is the guy riding? If he's riding erratically and he has no intention to stop, he's blasting through the stop sign at like 25 miles an hour, that's another story, right? So, but I know people see things and they don't know the full story, so they jump to a conclusion and they'll ding you on that. You know, I had people say, oh, you've lost all credibility when you passed through the stop sign, so I stopped watching that video. Okay. So I just look at those and kind of move on. Used to bother me, kind of still does a little bit when you read stuff that people don't like about you, right? Just kind of used to really bother me when I read negative comments, but I've come to realize that, you know, you can't satisfy everyone, and I think some people are happier when they make negative comments. Or when they put a dislike on a video. You know, I don't mind it when you put the dislike on the video, because you actually help my video when you do that. I've mentioned that before. Yeah, YouTube doesn't really look at if you like or dislike it. They'll still push the video. It's considered an interaction. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned in the past that, you know, there was 3 people, I think, always put a dislike on my videos, because it's always consistently 2 or 3 dislikes, no matter what video it is. So I think they purposely do it. They look out for my video and they hit the dislike. They must not really like Russ is Right. Maybe they're one of the guys that comment on the stop signs, I don't know. But they actually help my videos when they do that. Nobody gets to see the dislikes except for the creator. They used to let you see it. They used to let people see the dislikes, but nobody gets to see it anymore, because it doesn't really hurt the video. It's just a interaction. So they figured, you know, why show it to everybody? Because, you know, even if you had 100 dislikes and no likes, that would actually help the video. So really, if they really wanted to hurt the video, don't react to the video. That's how you hurt the video. Anyway, yeah, I've grown a little bit on my YouTube things that I just kind of say, oh, well, that's how it is. That's how the people are sometimes. Alrighty, I think this video's gone long enough. Time to switch out bikes. I'm gonna go back, get rid of this bike, and get another one. I could have brought the second battery and just kept going, but yeah, time to give a ride to some of the other people. Other people. I'm looking at people. The other bikes. Give the other bike some ride time. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Either way, hit one of those buttons. Hit the subscribe button too. I appreciate it when you do that. I'll talk to you guys next time.